Sunshine over Vegas. How's it going, everybody? So, we're going to do a big painting today. A 24 by 36 canvas here. It's a Pro Series canvas. So, I'm going to start with this. So, let's get, we got the Christmas music going. And we'll get started. So, what am I going to do today is the question. I always do these videos and I try to make it seem like I knew, you know, what I was going to even start with. What color I was going to even start with. And half the time I don't even know. I really make it up as we go along. But today we're going to do one that I've done before a few times to show you how to do Yellowstone Lake the way that I like to paint it. So for this painting, why don't we start out with some bright red. Let's tell you what I got here first. Got Van Dyke Brown, Dark Sienna, Black, Midnight Black, Prussian Blue, Alizarin Crimson, Sap Green, Titanium White, Bright Red, Yellow Ochre, Indian Yellow, and Bright Yellow. So, we'll just start out with some bright red on the end of our 2-inch brush here and just make a big decision. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We'll just start dropping some color on there. And we primed our canvas with Bob Ross's Liquid White. And that's going to allow all this thick oil paint to kind of blend on this nice canvas so we can just move it and do whatever we want with it. This. It's a pretty cool sky, I'd say. We get white all over us. Okay, let's clean off this brush. In the frosty air. Just go right into our paint thinner, into our little trash can. When I've got a beater bucket, I suggest you get one. I've just got a like a golf ball basket at the bottom. You just beat it into the bucket. Save your pretty house. Alright, now we got a nice clean, sort of dry, getting it dry. Just onto a paper towel, just dabbing it. Gotta be dry when you blend it, otherwise it just leaves a bunch of streaks in your sky and it won't be blended at all. Alright, nice dry brush. Now I want to start with my light areas before I do my dark areas, otherwise everything's just going to go dark real quick. All right. Clean off our brush again. Whenever I start picking up too much blue on my brush, I'm cleaning it off just by hitting on the beater bucket there. Clouds. Let's try to match this, which we should have been doing the whole time, but we didn't. That's kind of how we paint. So we'll put our water in by pulling straight sideways. All we're doing is putting in just a very base shape. All this is going to be swiped over and going to be covered. So Don't worry about what it looks like too much. Clean this up. And we're just going side to side across our whole water. And that's going to blur all those shadows we just made. That's the fun part about painting for me, is I never know what it's going to look like until it drops onto the canvas. Alright, what I've been doing recently with my clouds is, and what I do is just leave like a little ridge on the top. Throw a couple in where my light areas are, right? So you don't over. Alright, so now that we've done our sky, we're going to clear off this area. Make a nice dark color, which is going to be our trees, going to be the base of our mountain, it's going to be a lot of things. So mix it up real good. Don't want to leave it too marbled, want it nice and dark. And we're going to put in a little mountain chain over here on the distance. It's going to fade off, and then there's another set of trees that comes in, and another set of trees. So we got to decide where we're going to do our little mountains first. And that's going to lay out the whole rest of our painting. A little hair there. Another little hair. There's hair everywhere. Alright, so just with our black and blue and alizarin crimson, I put a little bit of white in there just to see what kind of purpley color we got going on. That's a nice purple color. So let's do some mountains in here. Right at the base. And we're just getting a little roll of paint, just like Bob does. Kind of dropping our mountain chain in there to live. We really don't care what happens underneath here, as long as the top of our mountains are nice and peaky, I'd like to say. Down there, and then we'll take it and just kind of grab it and blend it on out to the horizon. Those are your brush strokes. What do they, what story do your brush strokes tell with these mountains? See what I mean? Alright. Just do like a rolling hill back there. Right, so far away. Just like that, you can change the topography of your land. This is your world, right? So let's make these, you know, this is going to be in the shadow of our sun. It's going to have light on this side, shadow on that side, light, 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 light. Okay, so let me start back there. We'll just put a grazing of snow back there. Now what I'm doing is just to soften this, give us like a foggy haze at the bottom of these. I'm just going in the order, in the angle that I painted it. And it's just going to soften up. So you don't want to do it straight across. It's going to look like someone came along with a razor blade. Took us up. So then we're going to swipe up. And that's, don't worry about that. It's just going to give us these cool little far away little wisps. Right? Take away all that excess stuff we don't need. Alright. That way we can take our water line, put it way back there. Way back there. If you don't ever like your water line, you just take it, pull it straight down, get rid of that sucker. And then we can do it again. No, too much over there is what it was. And that's probably even too far, but we want it there for our eye. When we go to paint it. So what we'll do now is we'll get our other trees going on the side over here. Let's get a fan brush and we'll get our trees rocking and rolling. And these trees are going to get lighter because of the light paint that's already on the canvas, so don't worry about that. But what we want to do is, let me pop them down here. Go like this. Get a little bit smaller to the end. We're going to want to take our big 2-inch brush and just pull straight down. Right, that's going to be our reflections. Just very lightly go over. Very lightly, otherwise you're going to lose them. They will not be there anymore. You push too hard, they will just blend into our water. And this is why, when we were talking about, you probably didn't see it, when we were talking about the cloud reflections underneath, just putting the base colors underneath works fine, because we're gonna, you know, swish swash and mess around all with this stuff, and that's just gonna mess up all of our stuff that we did down here. So don't waste your time doing it. We're gonna go straight up, make these look real far and real blurry. A bunch of blurry forest back there. And what we can do is put our little water line in, but you want to make sure it's straight from here. Otherwise it's going to look like this is closer and that's further away. You don't want it to do that. There we go, I think that's good enough. Take our water line in, which is just pure liquid white. And we're going to start out at the edge and just make as straight a line as we can get. Just like that. Got that? Remember, you don't want it to be the same. So don't worry if it's if it doesn't look right. Like this area right here where it's bare. With our next set of trees, we'll just leave this and then come up into here and then leave this where it's nice and visible. So it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of times I'll stress over stuff being just right or just perfect before I move on, and then I go cover it up anyway. So what's the point if we're just going to cover it up anyway? Right? Alright, so we've got our first set of trees, got our water line, got our reflections. Everything's looking good. Still recording, it looks like. Got our Yellowstone trees. Got our big boss man tree. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go back to our dark color that we made our mountains with, which is just alizarin crimson, Prussian blue, and midnight black. And we're going to use that color because it's going to stand out against this color and make them look closer to us than they are, right? So let's clear off our brown area. Just save that for later. Got our black and bluish, purplish thing here, but we're going to need to make some more. So we got a nice big glob, pretty black, pretty mixed in, just looks dark is all you want it to look. It's just dark. So what we'll do now is just load this sucker up. Nice and good on both sides, and then I'm going to try to stay out of you guys' way. And we'll just rock and roll this bad boy. And remember, you don't want to kill all of your waterline in the back. That's going to tell everybody that there's some distance in between these trees and that trees, right? I already know what works for me. I'm trying to figure out what works for you. Alright, so we got our water line, we got our second set of trees. We're looking pretty good. We're going to clean off this brush. All good in the hood. People still say that? Okay, now we got our little fan brush dried off. Getting bits of those color off of there. We need to make our reflections, so taking our 2-inch brush, again, we're going to be as straight as possible and just go straight down. Straight down, just like that. Okay? Don't worry about what it looks like over here. Doesn't matter. You go straight across, just barely touching. Right? Some of this is going to get covered up anyway, so you just want it to barely touch. There we go. Alright, let's see what we can do with just the knife here. I'm just kind of taking the thing and just making our little beach out of the same colored paint that was there, just by kind of smushing it around with the knife. So, what we can do, just put a little strip of white in there. And that should mix with our water line and kind of make it look like there's a beach there. We're going to find out. Again, doesn't have to look all the same against the back wall back here. Does not need to look the same. In the reference photo, there's nothing over on the other side, but I like to just try to get a little bit of grass or some kind of something over there that's growing. And how I do that is just very lightly just touch. Some bushes over there. Rock and or roll. Have I said that? Probably have. If I have, just smack me. Alright, so we're going to put this down. We're going to come in. We don't want to make them too high. Again, we want to leave the fact that there's some water line back there, right? So get some more of this, right, which is going to be a different color than what we just had. so it's going to stick out nicely. Switch back to our black. Blotted in all of our trees on this side of the forest over here. You're asking yourself, are we ever going to actually make some real trees, or are we just going to blot these trees in? We'll make real trees. And they're coming up soon. They're right down here along the bottom, so let's see. Save that color. Alright, so what we're going to do now is make our shoreline just by pulling out. And we want to keep a line of these trees out like this. That way we've got our shoreline of this little lake here. Now what I'll do over here is put a couple bits of grass in there just to hide that bit. Then this is the very careful bit where we have to be sure all of our water lines are good, because there will not be a chance to go back once we've done the rock. There we go, I like that. Once we do the rock, there is no return. And the rock sits about there. Our rock reflection. Throw a little bit of our water line in around this sucker. See what I mean? Once you put the rock in, it's very hard to go back. You'll end up killing your rock and you're going to restart over and do it all again. There we go. Alright, so we got our rock, and then we're going to put in what I like to think of are like logs or fallen trees, and just get a nice amount of it on the knife there. And then just kind of deposit a little bit of it at a time in different angles, right, all over the dang place. You can crisscross, you can make tic-tac-toe shapes out of them, you do whatever you want. And then you go back with some white and just go back over those same lines, and wherever the white paint drops, you got a log there with a shadow underneath. And it takes some practice. There we go, there's a nice tree fall over there. So much paint there. So then we'll go back in, get a little bit of grass in front of those. Fix our, there we go. Fix our rock, got our branches. We'll even put a little bit of shadow underneath there. You can just fill this whole thing up with either grass or branches or whatever you want. But I like to do these fallen logs. They look First thing, before I get too far away though, let's get some liquid black. Alright, we're going to come underneath here and just make a little drop off into the water here. You'll see what I mean. I'm gonna go like this. Cut in our water line like that. And we're good. There, what we'll do is put in a couple reeds sticking up out of the water. A couple by our guy too. And then a couple in here. All different sizes. You want to do them all the same size, but you want to keep them inside your water line, otherwise you have to redo them again, which is a pain in the butt. There we go. The water has to make sense. Doesn't make sense, people look at it and go, like, I know what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't look like that. Alright. Let's put this out here a little bit more. Then we'll connect those water lines. That looks good enough. People can't really tell what's out there. This looks like grass. You get too far ahead of yourself, then it's hard to go back in and fix everything. But there's not a good painter that hasn't scraped it off and started over, I guess. Right? Alright, so down to our thing, we should probably add a little bit more white on our branches over here. The space in between. And for that, I just use a fan brush. You just want to leave a little bit of room in between, and as long as you're marbled enough in your paint, it'll be dark and light and stuff like that on its own. There we go. So you can see we've got our water line comes in. Now we've got this little meadow over here on the side. Mess up my tree over here. There we go. Got our browns and greens and blacks and purples and all sorts of stuff. Now is the fun part. You're like, oh, I wish this guy would make a tree. Show me how to make a tree already, dude. All right, you have fast forwarded to the part where we will make trees now. God, I love this sky. It is beautiful. Got our things here, got our water line, got our rock. We might, you know what we could do is put a, show you guys how to put like a rock off in the distance. Remember, you want to leave enough shadow that when you pull it down, you'll give a reflection, right? So they don't all have to be round or anything. Jagged rocks, there's flat rocks, there's all sorts of rocks. So just go about just a little pull down, just in the shape of our rock, right? And then we just very lightly go across, and that gives us the indication that there's a little shadow in there. Helps if your brush is clean when you do it. Okay, now we can go back in with our liquid white around these guys. And just like that, we've got some water around our rocks. Every so often you can put a wave out there. Try to make it straight, and if you don't like it, do it again. There's a wave, a couple waves over here, yeah. My knife only wants to work right on the first go. Here we go. A wave, why not? One out here. That. You just keep making them all day long. I know I'm gonna have some trees and stuff over here, so it's not a real big deal. Okay, so we want a lot of pink because we want a lot of it to glob onto the canvas, and that's gonna leave a good bit of it for us to attach our lighter paint to. So what I'm gonna do here is come the big side over here, drop this sucker on. So what we're doing with these is we're getting our fan brush in the paint, all full of paint on both sides, and then we're just touching the tip to the canvas, and the more you push, the more paint you're going to touch around this arc. So we do one here like this, just very lightly make us a little trunk, and then with just the tip, push and push harder as you go down. That's pretty much it. Seems like in this picture it was taken from maybe like one of those pullover and overlook spots, because we're above all these trees and you just see forever into the distance. It's a great picture. Alright, let's do... just want that to stand out. There we go. That looks good, guys. So, then what you do is you take in your knife and just scrape in just with the black that's already there. didn't do is with this liquid white on this side, there's these old tree trunks that live, they're like dead white trees that live in there. So with our liquid white, just like we did with the Waterline, we're just going to add in a trunk of a tree or two, which we should have done before, but whatever. And I haven't had a drink. I don't know how long. Whew. We got paint all over my favorite hat. Let's see. I like that. Alright, so now what we gotta do is, a lot of people forget it, and I forget it from time to time, is putting a trunk on these trees. When you're out there and you're looking at the trees, you always see a bit of trunk, even if you don't think you do. Your mind is like, there's that bit of wood that's holding everything up. So in order to make that, I like to use brown and or yellow ochre. That's why we got this yellow out. You marble these two, not too much, but you marble them and it'll look like wood. So we come back here, make our tree trunk. That. A little thicker down at the bottom. And don't worry about it, because you're not going to see it all. Probably not going to see a lot of it. All mix the same color. You want to leave it marbled where there's yellow and brown and everything else in there, because it gives you these cool wood effects. Makes it look like real wood. And if you do it enough, you'll have this wicked marbling bark effect. Okie dokie. No mistakes, just happy accidents, right? Put our tree trunk in. You want to make sure your tree trunk is straight too, if your tree is straight. If your tree is all cockeyed, then it's not going to make a difference. What I'm doing here is just alternating again back and forth until I like the way that it looks. If you got yours right on the first try, then nicely done. What I'm doing is just taking the last little bit of our yellow and just kind of these little sticks that we made in there and just kind of turning them a little bit brown, that's all. This guy look like a tree stuff out there. Perfect. All right. Now the last step, while we run out of paper towels and room to work with on our palette and canvas, is highlighting the trees. And we don't want to make them all green, or at least all not the same green. All right. No more messing around with it. We already did the mountains, Josh. Can't go back and do them again. Now, we're going to go back in and go over these things that we've already done. A little bit of liquid white. And what the liquid white does is allow the color that we put on top of this thick color to stick. By magic. Don't ask me how. It'll stand out that it's not exactly the same as this other tree here. And the more and more we do this and mix our trees, the more they're going to turn darker and darker and darker. But we just like to give it a little different flavor. Shoot. It's just going to look weird. It's not going to look like a tree. Alright, let's clean this off. We can do whatever we want in our world, right? So this guy is going to get a lot of sun. All I'm doing is just crisscrossing back and forth between these colors. And that way not all my trees are the same color, right? Don't want them all to be the same color. Otherwise it doesn't look realistic, right? And we paint realistic shit around here, don't we? Realistic crap around here, don't we? We paint some real looking junk around here, don't we? Alright, let's get a little bit of paint thinner. It's gonna make our yellow and orange nice and easy to put on. Looks a little brown. We can do this little bugger. Just like that. Man, that looks cool. I like that. Nice pretty color green. Dark green too. Boom. Stick a fork in it. Call that one done. Okay, All right, well, that's a beautiful picture, guys. I do say so myself. Yeah, the shadowing is right. Everything looks great. I really like this one. So, what we're gonna do now is sign the dang thing. There's a thing I do each one of my paintings. You know, everybody's got to have their own little fancy signature, right? So for my fancy signature, it comes with one of two pieces. The first one being the my little family flock here. This is not the time to be shaky. When you've gone and finished your whole painting and now you have to sign the dang thing, you do not want to be, you don't want to have shaky hand syndrome then. Myself, my wife, and then our little 7-year-old daughter, and I paint them into every single painting that I do. Every painting. So if you've bought one of my paintings before, if it's a, as long as it's not one of the first ones that I ever did, then it should have these little birds in it somewhere. There. Me, my wife, my daughter. Now we have to sign the thing. Whatever color I'm signing with. Today we're just signing with white. Just like that, folks. So, like I said, if you like this video, like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel, my Instagram channel, page, whatever. Alright, well that's it, guys. That is the end of the painting session for today. There's nothing that I don't love about this painting. And yeah, if you guys like it as much as I like it, okay. So, you know, if you like it, it's available on my online store. Or, you know, like my, subscribe to my channel to see more. Other than that, you guys take care. Have a great day, or night, or whenever it is. It's night now here. If you guys like that, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my, it's getting late. I can't even think about what I'm saying anymore. So, we're going to do this in one more final take. This is the take. If you like this painting, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, at Happy Little Landscapes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. And, you know, we'll see you guys on the next painting after I go frame this bad boy. Check out at Happy Little Landscapes on Instagram for a picture of the final thing framed and done. So, you guys take care. Thanks for hanging out with me this evening, and thanks for watching me paint. And I love when everybody shares my watch parties, and I get a notification and boom, I got my own video up and someone else is hosting it. I really appreciate that. It really touches my heart, and I love you guys for that. I love all my fans. Just a self-taught painter from Las Vegas that, you know, just does things my own way. And if I do stuff that you think you can do, follow my channel, and, you know, I might be able to teach you some tips that you might not be able to learn in the classroom. So, other than that, you guys take care. Have a great day. Told you, one take. That was it. Did it. Bam. Done.